Jefferson County Court Law number 2 is back in session. Court is in session for the jail docket. First case is cause number 24-CCCR-0216. Case is styled the state of Texas versus Dontario Bryant. Mr. Bryant, is that your full name? You have to make a statement. Yes? Okay, Mr. Bryant, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Bryant, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God? Okay, you may put your hand down. Mr. Bryant, you are represented in this case by your attorney, Attorney Benjamin Jeffries. Mr. Jeffries, do you waive a record in Mr. Bryant's case?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Bryant, how are you doing? Making it? That's good. And Mr. Jeffries, how are you doing?
Doing well, Your Honor. Thank you.
You're welcome. And the state is represented in this case by Ms. Haley Simmons. Simmons, how are you doing?
I'm good, Judge. How are you?
Mr. Bryant, I have before me a document that is titled Information. This information alleges that you, Dontario Bryant, on or about December 19th of 2023, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of criminal trespass. Mr. Bryant, do you understand what you have been charged with? And to this charge, Mr. Bryant, how do you plead? Not guilty, guilty, or no contest? Now, you pleaded no contest freely and voluntarily? You plead, is anybody forcing you to enter a plea of no contest? And are you entering a plea of no contest because you wish to fight or contest the charges? Okay. Now, Mr. Bryant, I also have a document before me. Let's see. Okay. I also have another document before me. This document is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. It is also labeled as State's Exhibit number 1. Mr. Bryant, do you recognize this document? Let me do this here. On page 2 of this document, there are a set of initials on a line that's next to a box that's checked nolo contingere, which means no contest. Could you show him that? Are those your initials? Did you? Okay. You go to the next page on this document. There's a signature above the line that is titled, is that a signature? That just says DB. That's your signature? Okay. And on the next document that's titled Trial Court Certification, the Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize that document? And at the bottom of that document, there's a signature DB on the line that's titled Defendant. Is that your signature? Right. That's your signature on the bottom? Is that your signature? Okay. At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes that's checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? You do? And the second box that's checked states that you are waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement? Okay. I also have a document on paper that's titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? You need to see that. Okay. Now, Mr. Bryant, before you signed and initialed all of these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney go over these documents with you? Okay. And did you understand everything that he went over? Okay. And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Okay. Mr. Bryant, are you a citizen of the United States? Okay. State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, would you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections?
No objection.
No objection. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. The court will also take judicial notice of the court's file. Mr. Jeffries, you've advised and counseled Mr. Bryant, is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
Not currently, Your Honor. There was some questions previously, and he's been evaluated and deemed competent. The conversations I've had with him today have left me no reason to believe it.
Okay, now, you received the report that was psychiatric exam that was conducted by Dr. Papon. Do you have any objections to the finding, conclusion, recommendations in that report?
No, no.
And Ms. Haley, you have also received a copy of the psychiatric exam that was conducted by Dr. Papon. Do you have any objections to the finding, conclusion,
No,
recommendation?
Your Honor.
Okay, no objections. And the court has also received a copy of that report. The court will take judicial notice of the finding, recommendations, and conclusions in that report. Now, Mr. Bryant, are you satisfied with the services of your attorney? Okay, Mr. Bryant, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
In exchange for defendants, we have no contest. The state's offering 38 days time served and pre-tax retirement court costs.
Mr. Bryant, the state is offering that you serve 38 days in Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail because you've already served 38 days in the Jefferson County Jail. The court costs in this case will be taxed and retired. That simply means that you will not be required to pay the court costs because the time that you have spent in jail has already paid it off. Therefore, the court costs will be taxed and retired. Now, Mr. Bryant, do you understand the state's offer? And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer? Okay, Mr. Bryant, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Bryant, if there is not anything else holding you in jail, you should be getting out of jail today. This will conclude your case. Please stand next to the bailiff. Once you're finished following her directions, you can follow the bailiff and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Jeffries, this is your only case. You're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. let's just see. This is cause number M324610. Case and style, the state of Texas versus Patrick Darwin Thomas Jr. Mr. Thomas, is that your full name? Mis-
Yes, sir.
Mr. Thomas, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Thomas, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Mr. Thomas, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Thomas?
Seen better days.
Okay, I'm sure you've seen worse days too, huh? All right. Now, Mr. Thomas, you represented in your case by your attorney. Attorney Ralph Kimler. Attorney Kimler, how you doing?
Better, Mr. Thomas.
And Mr. Kimler, you waive a record in Mr. Thomas's case?
So way.
And state is represented in this case by Attorney Erica Porter. Attorney Porter, how you doing?
Doing great.
That's good. Now, Mr. Kimler and Ms. Porter. In Mr. Thomas's case, there's actually 3 MTRPs.
Right.
Yeah, the first one was filed March 2nd of 2021.
Guys, if I may, there's one case with 3 separate MPRPs or 3 cases. With MPRP in each case.
One case with 3
One case,
MTRPs.
okay.
Yeah, okay. The first MTRP was filed March 2nd, 2021. The first amended motion to revoke probation, motion to revoke the unadjudicated probation. Let me see, the first motion to revoke the unadjudicated probation was March 2nd, 2021. Second, and now the first amended motion to revoke unadjudicated probation was filed August 31st of 2021. And then the last MTRP, which is titled Motion to Revoke Unadjudicated Probation, was filed November 8th of 2022. So I guess it should be labeled as second amended motion to revoke unadjudicated probation. Is that correct? Okay, I'll just have you, do you have any objections to that?
No objection.
Yeah. Not really an amendment, it's just a title.
Put some initials out.
Yes.
there, too.
Did you, 4 and 5, and what's called the second amendment is.
It's on that one. It's the.
It is.
It's on-
Okay. Now, Mr. Thomas, I have before me the state's second amended motion to revoke probation. And in this motion, it alleges that you, Patrick Darwin Thomas Jr., defendant, who is a defendant in cause number 324610, that you were tried in County Court at Law number 2, Jefferson County, Texas, on December 10th of 2019. And you tried for the offense of assault family violence. The court found that the evidence beyond a reasonable doubt supported the finding of guilt. However, the court deferred adjudication of your guilt and placed you on unadjudicated probation for a period of 2 years. In this motion, there are 5 allegations. State, are you abandoning allegations 1, 2, and 3?
We are. We're abandoning, yes, 1, 2, and 3.
Okay, the state is abandoning allegations 1, 2, and 3, and so the state will only be proceeding on allegation 4 and 5. Allegation 4 alleges that you, Patrick Darwin Thomas Jr., failed to abstain from the use or possession of any drugs except those taken or possessed under a doctor's orders as ordered by the court, in that on or about February 24th of 2022 and September 28th, 2022, that you, Patrick Darwin Thomas Jr., provided a urine sample for a scientific analysis that showed the presence of the metabolic byproducts of tetrahydrocannabinol, which is commonly referred to as marijuana, in violation of condition 13 of your probation order. Is that true or not true?
Yes, sir.
Is it, you have to say true or not true?
True.
True, okay. Allegation number 5 alleges that you, Patrick Darwin Thomas, has failed to successfully complete the batter's intervention prevention program, which is commonly referred to as BIP, as ordered by the court in violation of condition 17 of your probation order. Is that true or not true? Are you pleading true to allegation number 4 and 5 freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
Yes.
That one.
And are you pleading true because they are true?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
True. Yes.
Okay. Now, Mr. Thomas, I also have before me a document that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishments. This document is also labeled as State's Exhibit number 1. Do you recognize this document? Okay, on page 2 of the same document, there are a set of initials, PT, that are on a line next to a box that's checked MTRP, which means motion to revoke probation, true to allegations 5 and 4. Did you place your initials on this document? On page 3 of the same document, there is a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature? On the next document that's titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes that's checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your rights to appeal, which means you're giving up your right to appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Thomas, before you signed and initial all of these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Okay. Mr. Thomas, are you a citizen of the United States? State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, would you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1?
Yes, sir.
No objection.
No objection. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Kimler, you're advising counsel, Mr. Thomas. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
None of them, Your Honor.
Mr. Thomas, your attorney, Mr. Kimler, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation? Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation? Mr. Thomas, I will accept your plea of true to allegations 4 and 5. I will also find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I'll also find the evidence is sufficient to revoke your unadjudicated probation. Unadjudicated probation is hereby revoked. And I will also find that your pleas and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
In exchange for the defendant's plea of true, the state is offered 45 days, Jefferson County Jail giving them credit for 45 days, time served, tax retired, court costs.
Mr. Thomas, the state is offering that you serve 45 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail on this case because you've already served 45 days in the Jefferson County Jail. Therefore, you'll be given credit for the time that you have already served. And the court costs in this case will be taxed and retired. That simply means that you will not be required to pay the court costs because the time that you have spent in jail has already paid it off. Mr. Thomas, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you think that the state's offer is fair and just?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Thomas, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. Now, Mr. Thomas, your attorney has handed you a document that is titled Model Written Ammunition on Inability to Possess Firearm Ammunition. And in accordance with the Texas Administrative Code, Section 176.1, the court hereby admonishes you of the following. Number one, you are by entry of order or judgment ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. Number two, beginning now, if you possess a firearm or ammunition, it could lead to charges against you. If you have questions about how long you will be ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, you should consult an attorney. Number three, under Texas Penal Code Section 46.013A, firearm means any device designed, made, or adapted to expel a projectile through a barrel by using the energy generated by an explosion or burning substance, or any device readily convertible to that use. B, firearm does not include a firearm that may have as an integral part a folding knife blade or other characteristics of weapons made illegal by Penal Code Chapter 46, and that is one, an antique or carrier firearm manufactured before 1899, or two, a replica of an antique or carrier firearm manufactured before 1899, but only if the replica does not use rimfire or centerfire ammunition. The statutes listed below are a starting point for ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. For more information about the laws that make you ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, or for more information on how long your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition lasts, the court recommends you contact an attorney. Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 17.292, Magistrate's Orders for Emergency Protection. Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 42.0131, Notice for persons convicted of misdemeanors involving family violence. Penal Code Section 46.02, unlawful carrying weapons. Penal Code Section 46.04, unlawful possession of firearm. Penal Code Section 25.07, violation of certain court orders or conditions of bond in a family violence, child abuse or neglect, sexual assault or abuse, indecent assault, stalking, or trafficking case. Family Code Section 85.026, warning on protective orders. Now, Mr. Thomas, the written ammunition that has been given to you is for your records. You're going to stand in front of the court coordinator, follow the directions of the bailiff. Once you finish following the directions of the bailiff, you can follow the bailiff, and your case is disposed of and you have a blessed day.
Right, so if you're convicted for UCW, you can't possess a firearm in the future?
That's what it said.
Have you read these?
Yeah, that's what it said. This is a model written ammunition from the Administrative Code Section 176.1.
So it's not a penal, is there something in the penal code that says you can't?
This is from the Administrative Code, but these they cite code provisions.
Here.
Right.
I don't think that's accurate. I think I know the federal law is that